Welcome to the beginning of Google Sites. We're going to go and just teach you the basics of Google Sites so that you know how to create your own website and also publish it. So these are just going to be the basics, so follow along. Over here in the corner, if you are in Google Chrome and into your Gmail, you have 9 dots. The 9 dots allow you to get to your Google Apps. Google Sites is sitting right here. When you click on it, it's going to open up Google Sites. It's going to be the old Google Sites first. I don't know exactly why they go to the old Google Sites, but what you want to do is you want to come over to the new Google Sites. It is a lot easier to work with new Google Sites than it is old. You're going to notice here I have lots of different websites that I have access to because my students have been working on it. But if I go to the ones owned by me, I've got a couple that I'm working on. So what we want to do is we want to start a new site. So down here in the bottom corner, you've got a plus. If you click the plus, it will open up and begin a new Google site for you. So you're going to notice here that the Google site is up and going. They give you a page title. And you could go here, and I'm just going to create one for me. This is just going to be a click and type program. So I'm going to go Mr. Posey's website, and there's my title. With this, I have a menu bar up top. If I ever want to do something to the title, I can. I can always make my name small. You can, keep it the way you want to. If you want it on one line, you can start dragging, and make it look there. Now, over here on the side is where we have our three main little toolbars. The first one I'd like to go to is called the themes. When we go to the themes, they give you about 4 or 5 different themes here. If you click on it, you can see how they change the theme. You can see how they change the color. So if I go over to level and click on one, they give you a little background. Don't worry about the background. You can always go in, and if you hover over this, you can see I can change the image. You can even go over here and add a logo. So if you've got one, there's some things that you can play with there. So I'm not too concerned about what the picture is because I can always go in later and change that. But I'm going to like this one. I even like the blue up there. It kind of looks nice. I can go down here. I can choose a bold website. I can choose a more modern type website, or I can just do a classic. Again, you want to choose something that the kids can understand. Once you've done that, you're going to want to work on your first page. So I go back over here to insert. Now there's 2 ways to insert. You can go click on any of these that you want to make your page look good. So if I go over here and I click on this one here, it's going to give you 3 spots to add things. It's going to give you 3 spots to add words. So if I go over here and I say reflex, if I go reflex there, if I go over here and say that I want my story maker and I want class dojo. So you can see that I've got there. Now if I click in here, you notice I have 2 text boxes. So here's where I can do my title, but I can also go down below and I can leave my directions. Do this 2 times a week and get your green light. And there you go. So you can leave your directions. Up here is where you're going to add a picture. So if you go to a picture, you can select the image. You can find it from Drive. You can upload. If you go to select image, they're going to want to know if you do a Google image search. So this is the easiest way. I'm just not sure how it's going to act with... Reflex Math. You're going to notice here that nothing comes up for Reflex Math because Reflex Math is copywritten. They own the image, so you're not going to be able to find it. Same thing here with photos in Google Drive. So I will actually need to go out of here into a new tab. I can go over to Images and go Reflex Math. You can see I could even do the logo there, the login. I can choose which one I want. The kids seem to know what this one looks like, so if I right-click this one, I think I can copy the image. I can go back over here to my sites, and if I paste the image, you can see the image just goes there. And I can drag this image up. Now with this image, you can see how when I click on this, it's all one box. If I click on it again, I get the box and I can delete everything. If I click on it yet again, this is now just the picture. If I go down here, I can click on the words, but just don't get discouraged when you click on this the first time. It selects all three of these boxes together. If I click on this one, now you notice I can go through and I can choose the different boxes. But if you see the circles around all of it, just understand that you need to click it one more time to get it. Now, why is that important? It's important because when I click on this picture, I want to be able to give a link so that kids can click on this picture and take me someplace. So if I go back over here to my reflex and I go back to my image and search for reflex math, it's going to bring me to I can just go over to all. If I go to reflex math, I'm going to want this URL up here at the top. And I know you can't see that, but I want to have reflexmath.com. So there's two ways to do it. If I know the site, I can go here. I can go www.reflexmath.com and apply it. When I do that, this is the link that it's going to take them to. If I want to test it, all I have to do is click on it. And you notice right there, it didn't like where it sent me, so I want reflexmath.com. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go back to my site, and I'm going to edit that link. So I'm going to go back over here, and there is the reflexmath.com. I can also do the same thing down here. So if I click down in here and I select this word right here, I can go back over to my insert the link. I can go Control V and paste that, type in the website that I want. And when I do, it's going to underline it. And so the kids should understand that if things are underlined, you can usually click on them. That will give you access to it. So that's basically how you add your picture. It's basically how you add your links. That's about 90% of this, adding things to your page. Now, if you ever want to add anything else, you can just double click down here at the bottom and you can see you can add a text box. You can embed things, you can add images, upload, you can get them from your Google Drive, and you can go ahead and get what you need from there. Or you can just come right back here to your layouts. You can click on your layouts, it'll take it down to the bottom. If you don't like your picture, you can always grab this picture, and I'm going to drag this picture over here, and the picture's over here, and the words are here. Same thing, with this box, that if I want to come down below and I want another text box, you notice there I've got 3 text boxes. If I click down here and don't want it, there it is, it's gone. If I don't want this text box, I can go ahead and click on it and it's gone. Now I have a title and I have this. I can grab this one over here. Now you can see, if I drag it over a little bit, and I know I'm going kind of quick, the picture goes right here, my words go right there, and I can do the same thing. Now you notice when you click on this box, you can duplicate the section. So if you know you have another section that you want like this, you can click it and it automatically will set up another section that's made exactly like this. You can also go over to the paint palette. This is where if you go to your emphasis, it will pick up the theme that you set over here. So if I go over and I change this theme up a little bit, sometimes these colors will change depending on the theme. And you can see here how I can change my theme. I can then go over to this palette and choose the emphasis 2. You can see how that gets kind of a look the way that you might want it. You can also go through and you can select an image if you can find it on the internet, or upload an image. It can be in the back. I usually don't suggest you put an image behind links because it gets kind of busy. You want to make sure your website is clean and looks nice. One of the other things that I like doing over here, this reflex is kind of small. I want the kids to be able to see it, and right now it's a heading. So sometimes I like going up, just making my words a little bit bigger. These words right here, same thing, normal text. Sometimes I even like making my words to be a subheading or even a heading, just to have it a little bit bigger. Sometimes it looks a little bit nicer. So if I don't want a section, like this section down here that I duplicated, I've got a trash can. Just click it and delete it. So you've seen me go over to themes. You've seen me go over to insert. I'm going to give you some other things that you would, some other resources that you'd like on a certain page I've got on my website. But if you wanted, you can add YouTube videos, you can add a calendar, maps, you can add Google Docs that they can click on. Same thing with Google Slides, Google Sheets, you can add a form and charts. So any of these things that you're working on, don't forget over in your Gmail, or if I go over to a new tab, you have a waffle up here with your Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, your calendar, just the different things. There's your Google Forms, things that you might want to create for your kids. These are all sitting over here in the 9 squares. So if I go back over to my site, one thing that I did forget to do is I need to give it a name. Always encourage the kids to do this. So if I go over here and I call this, Mr. Posey's website, then I've got a name. So that's kind of how I create my first page. Over here, you've seen pages. By now you've seen, or maybe you haven't, the home page right there. Again, come down here, you can create a new page. You can give it a name. You can go over here and I can go math sites. And it will now up here at the top create a new math site. There is a gear over here on the side. These links, then the pages that I'm going to add are going to be all up here on the top. So if I go up here and go about me, and I hit done, I've got an about me page. So if I click on this, this is my about me page. If I go back to the insert, I don't have much about me, so I'm just going to add a picture and a couple words. My math sites, maybe I want, here's 4 links with 4 pictures. Maybe I want to go over and duplicate that. Now I've got 8 pictures and 8 links I can have for my math site. I can go back over to home here, go back over to pages, and the same thing here. Oops, I'm going to turn that off for a second. And so my new page there, I just had one more thing. I'm sorry. Over here on the side, we had our gear. And this is where we can check the navigation. Right now, I have a top navigation, which means that all my different sites are sitting right up here at the top. If I don't want a top navigation, I can click it and I can put it over to the side, which means that if your kids go over here, if they go over here in your website, you can see that your sites will be here. I do not suggest you do this because your kids will get lost. They won't know how to get to other pages. And so I suggest that you kind of stay over to your top. It's nice as long as you have no more than like 4 or 5. It doesn't get too busy up there. But you can certainly change that the way that you want it. One of the last things that you can also do is I could go over here and if I wanted this one and put down my math page. And if I link this and I can go over to the link, you can see here, now I can go ahead and I can create it to my math page. So kids will actually, if they come down here and click on this, it will actually go up and it will take them to a math site. So you can not only link to sites that are outside of your website, you can link to sites, or not sites, but pages that are on your site. And you can only do that if you have already created the pages. So that is basically how you create your pages. Don't forget that you can also move these around. Home, about me, and math sites. You can move that in and out. You can change your theme. You can insert things. Just don't forget that if you go over here and you insert YouTube and you search for a video, let's see if BRPS Kids comes up with anything. If you get a video that you like, hey, BRPS Skids. So if you go over here and choose a video that you like and you select this, please understand that if a student is on a BRPS owned device or logged in as a BRPS account, they will not be able to watch that video until it is approved. So please make sure that you go to this video on YouTube and you approve that video before you put it on your website. Otherwise, if you go ahead and you click and you add it, this will be here. Your kids will not be able to play this. It'll just sit there and it'll give you a white circle and it will spin. So sometimes I suggest you go over to your YouTube page and actually click on the video you want your kids to see, and then down at the bottom, please make sure you approve it right there. Make sure that you approve it right there. Then your kids can do it. You can also go up here and I can take this URL. I can take the URL and copy it and go back to my website. If I want to add a YouTube page, or a YouTube, I can type in this actual link right there and search for it, and it comes up with that, the one that I already have approved. Hit select, and then our kids can see this. Same thing is, if you click on it and press delete, it's gone. Press on delete and it's gone. So you can add any of these things that whether you want to add a video or not, just make sure you approve it. Last thing, most important thing. In order to get your site ready, you're going to need to publish it. When you publish it, this is your one and only time to name the ending of your URL address. You're going to see that if you're in a school account, it is going to name it sites.google.com, and it will have the brps.org attachment to it, and then you can see here it says Mr. Posey's website. So you can name this any way that you want to. Who can view it? Anyone at Big Rapids Schools can view it. I suggest you go to manage, and I suggest that you make sure that anyone can find and view the published version. Not just Big Rapids Public Schools students and faculty, but anyone on the internet. And again, you can find that when you publish it. I'll click done. When you publish it, you're going to need to manage your site right there. And I'm just going to keep the name of Mr. Posey's website, hit publish, and it will go ahead and publish that. I believe my gear is right up here. Let me see if I can find to manage that again. So over here in the share button, this person right there, you can always go back to the published one. And make sure that anybody can see the publish. Now, I don't want them to see the draft. Now, if I have if I have anyone else, I can share this link with them, or anybody on Big Rapids Public Schools, or I can name specific people. And I can do that by just going down here and invite specific people to be able to edit it. And that's the pencil right there. I don't want them to see necessarily the viewed one. They can do that when I ship that out. I'm going to hit cancel right here, but I can type in the name of my other teachers and share that with them. So I'm going to hit cancel there. I'm going to hit done there. And that's how you share it, is go back to the person. Your actual website is going to be this link right up here. So if you go to this, you're going to see it's going to be sites.google.com. And actually, this is the one for the actual math. I don't necessarily want that one. So I am going to go back to my homepage. And if I go back to my link, there's my homepage right there. Just added the home to the end of it. If I copy that link right there, I can then go up. I can paste it into the URL, and you can see how my website shows up right there, and you can check to see how it works. If you do make changes to any of the pages, please make sure that you always go back, you always hit publish. So that's kind of it. If I ever change this up here, if I ever change it to Mr. Posey's website, the link will not change. So once you published it the first time, if you change the name of your website way up here at the top, it will not change the link. Now, I can change this title to anything I want, but whatever you put in this top box to name the file is the first thing that's going to come up. And so you always want to make sure that you get this top box up here correct the first time. Other than that, I think you're good to go for your first video on how to add it. When you do get done, if you share this with me, I can always post it on my website. So, and then that'll take over the page that I've created for you as your page. And anytime that you change this website, it will then automatically change on my website too. So enjoy. I'm going to hit publish one more time. No published. I've already published it, so that's good to know. Email me with any questions. Have fun. So what I mean is, when kids go to my website and they go up here to Brookside Teacher website, or they go to Riverview or Enrichments, if they go down to your name, this used to be a site I created for you. But now the technology, to do it is, you can see that, it takes you exactly to your own page. So that if you can control the links when you make changes, or when Mrs. Lamar makes changes to this, it automatically updates, and when the kids go there, they see it. So, if I come over here, you can see Miss Smith. does the same thing. She's got different links sitting up here for her kids. So it just makes it a little bit easier for kids to be able to find exactly your content. I am still perfectly fine with adding whatever links that you want here. If this isn't something you want to do, I am more than happy to. I'm more than happy to add these links for you. If you do want control, then I suggest you come on back to Google Sites and create your own page, and then just send me the link so that I can link it to a page that you're working on and where you want your kids to go. So have fun.